Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Monday, July the 29th, 2013. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry announced today that peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians would begin tonight in Washington, D.C., and officially named former U.S. Ambassador to Israel Martin Indyk as Washington's new Middle East peace envoy. As you may have seen on IBA News, Indyk was thought to be the likely candidate for the job. Indyk said of his new role today that it was, quote, a daunting and humbling challenge, but one I cannot desist from. Meanwhile, Kerry told reporters today that he was seeking, quote, reasonable compromises in the talks on some very tough, complicated, and emotional issues. Kerry said going forward, it is no secret that this is a difficult process. If it were easy, it would have happened a long time ago. U.S. State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki said this afternoon that both sides had agreed to a 9-month timetable for the talks and added that it was not a deadline but an agreement that they would work together at least for this time period. And Israeli media reported that Israeli negotiators Tzipi Livni and Yitzhak Molcho arrived in New York this morning on their way to Washington to restart talks. Livni reportedly met with UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon while in New York this morning. She told reporters after the meeting that peace talks were going to be very tough and problematic, but that the peace effort is, quote, a mutual interest for Israel, for the Palestinians, the Arab world, and the international community. And President Obama welcomed the resumption of peace talks today. He said in a statement that during his visit to the region in March, he had the chance to experience the profound desire for peace among both the Israelis and the Palestinians, which he said reinforced his own belief that peace was possible and necessary. Obama said the most difficult work of these negotiations is ahead, and I am hopeful that both the Israelis and Palestinians will approach these talks in good faith and with sustained focus and determination, adding that the United States stands ready to support them throughout these negotiations with the goal of achieving 2 states living side by side in peace and security. And several Jewish organizations here in the U.S. welcomed Kerry's announcement today of the resumption of talks in Washington tonight as well. The Rabbinical Assembly, the International Association of Conservative Rabbis, President Gerald Skolnick, commended Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for his fortitude in making some tough decisions, and congratulated Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas as well for sending envoys to the negotiating table. RA Executive Vice President Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld acknowledged the difficulty that the talks involve as well. She said in this moment of hope, we must also bear in mind the suffering that has brought us here and the tremendous sacrifices that so many have made already. She said we are grateful for an opportunity for the prize that we cherish, a lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinian people. The Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations Chairman Robert Sugarman and Executive Vice Chairman Malcolm Hoenlein said that Kerry's announcement brings hope of new opportunities to move towards a peaceful resolution and an end to the conflict that has taken such a heavy toll. The conference leaders acknowledged Israel's commitment to peace talks, specifically mentioning its painful decision regarding the release of Palestinian security prisoners. As you may have seen on IBA News, the Israeli cabinet approved the decision to release 104 Palestinian prisoners yesterday, with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu saying it was an extremely difficult decision, but necessary in order to resume peace talks. And about 40 people held a demonstration across from the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem today in protest of that decision. The protest was organized by the parents of Israeli-American Kobe Mandel, who was murdered by Palestinians near the West Bank settlement of Tekoa in 2001. They spoke during the demonstration and said that despite the fact that Kobe's killers were never caught, we feel the injustice spouting out of this decision to release terrorists. The smaller protest today follows a much larger protest of the families of Israeli terror victims yesterday. Pope Francis said he was considering a Holy Land visit next year. The Pope told reporters today while on a flight back to the Vatican from Brazil that he might travel to Israel next year to mark the 50th anniversary of Pope Paul VI's visit to Jerusalem in 1964. He said Patriarch Bartholomew, the Greek Archbishop and Patriarch of Constantinople, would like a meeting for the 50th anniversary of Paul VI in Jerusalem, The Israeli government has extended an invite for the anniversary in Jerusalem, the Pope said, and I think the Palestinian Authority as well. We are thinking about it. Israeli President Shimon Peres had invited the pontiff to visit Israel when Peres was at the Vatican in April, and the new pope had accepted, but no date had been set. It would be Pope Francis's second visit to Israel. He visited the country back in 1973, just before the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War.
Now, my girl, you're so young
And finally today, after canceling his show in Israel, Israeli media now reports that Animals frontman Eric Burden will play in Israel after all. As we reported to you last week, Burden, who was set to perform with Israeli 80s band Teisha next month, had canceled the show, with his management saying that he had been receiving increasing pressure not to perform in Israel and even threats. However, the Times of Israel reported today that the August 1st show is now back on Burden's website. And that's Shalom TV's news update from Monday, July the 29th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.